Hi guys, how are you? I'm Nan and this is the Book Captain channel. This video is the third video of a series of presentations related to the latest prototypes that I implemented in the last weeks. And the third one is related to knowledge base for our project. So let's go for it. Here you have the projects. You already know our interface, and I would create a knowledge base project. Yes, here you have the scenes, the stories. This prototype is the only one that's not working dynamically. I just inputted. I just inserted some dummy data into it, but I'll show to you guys, and maybe you will understand what I am thinking. So the main goal of our project is to model some kind of domains to generate some kind of technology products. And as I am studying in the last few months, the main goal is to define and formalize knowledge. I studied ontologies for some time, and I made some videos in this channel about it. And I also studied some kind of graph database that are less formal than ontologies, but they also represent the knowledge and the connections between the nodes that in the ontologies are the instance. And they are useful. The knowledge base or graph database, they are useful for us to first understand our data and the connections that are hidden in the data, to execute some kind of graph algorithms in the data easier than we could do in relational database like MySQL or Postgres and the other common ones. And you can see, for example, here we could create agents. Then we could create our edit class. So this is the class. We could create attributes. We could define the attributes of each agent or each instance of that class. And we could have this data, for example, here, as this data being seen as a table. That's the most common way to see data nowadays. But you can see that we are creating the data that is related to, each node is related to other nodes inside the domain. So here we are creating software as vanilla engineer. We would create classes and instances and attributes, but the main goal of any product or any project or any company is to deliver some kind of service or product to the end user. And for that, the company has a vision, some kind of goals, some kind of assumptions. And to accomplish that, then the software product, the software project comes to the scene. So then the engineer starts to create some kind of classes and instance and attributes to model that domain. What I am thinking here, and I modeled this prototype to try to present that, is that we can start to model the company or the software project not just by the software product that is going to be accessed by our users, our end users, but we could start to model it from the above, from the strategy part of the company, the business unit, if we are talking about some kind of giant company that has a lot of business units. And when this part, this strategic part, is clear for all stakeholders, including the software architect or engineer, then the other parts become easier to model, because we have already the goals and the definitions. We have the benchmarks of the industry that we are trying to accomplish something. And maybe in this knowledge base, we already have the customers' data, the suppliers' data, the competitors' data. So if we start to model our end project, software project, but if we start to model it from above, from the strategic part, maybe we can accomplish more things in less time, because we would have the knowledge already defined and formalized. And if we have this already, it's much easier to implement some kind of solution, because the data is there, already there. So let's dive into this diagram so I can show you what I am thinking. It's not clear from the 3 prototypes. This one is the latest one, but let's dive into it. So here it's just a graph. It's not using some kind of graph database technology or ontologies technology, but I tried to reuse the concepts that we have in ontologies. So the black nodes are the entities, if we were talking about ontologies. So the meta nodes, the nodes that define other kind of nodes that are considered instance, right? So for this one, we have business model as one node. We have industry as other node. We have business unit, KPI indicator, and these are the meta nodes, or the entities, if we can call them this way. Then in the industry, we have food service, delivery, and logistics. Okay, so we have 3 industries in this knowledge base. As the KPI indicator, and we have monthly active users. We have some kind of agreement, service agreement, and another one that is just different. And then as business units, we have the companies that I am modeling in this example. The companies are iFome, iFood, and Ike Integra. These are companies here from Brazil, okay? And the last instance types are the business model. So we have software as a service, e-commerce, and marketplace. So here I connected the business units with each kind of meta node. So I localized them in their industries, in their business models, in their business. They are business units in the KPI that they are using. And in the future, for example, we could have here we have a KPI MAU, and we could have the instance. So if we click it here, we could have how many monthly active users iFome has, and then how many monthly active users this other business unit, for example, iFood has. And with this kind of data, we could localize each business unit near its competitors or partners or suppliers or any kind of node in the knowledge base. And with that, we could model what the end user, in this case, some kind of that data scientist, or for small companies, the founder of the company, could localize his business unit near some kind of competitor or partner, and to see the benchmarks between what are his KPIs, for example, or his number of customers, or which partners this business unit has, and which partners the end user business unit has. And with that kind of data, it would be much easier, not much easier, but much clearer for the decision maker to understand where his business unit is and what he can do to achieve better results or to position his business unit better in the market, in the scenario. So for this prototype, I just implemented this static data, like I said, but maybe you can visualize that with this kind of structure. So this is public data. What are all possible business models right now? We could map that using some kind of public resource. We could map the KPIs that are usually used for each business model. We could map the industries. We could map the main competitors in each industry. We could map, maybe using public data, their KPIs somehow, or maybe their public data, so number of customers, revenue. This data is public now. And then we could create an external knowledge base, so a public knowledge base, and the end user could insert his own data to see in which position or which are the competitors or partners that are near or far from him, and which kind of decision he has to make to accomplish more, right? We could, like we did for the other user interface, we could have some kind of user interface using mouse and keyboards, so the user could interact with the graph, inputting data as we usually do, or maybe in the future also the user could generate the graph just inputting some kind of natural language text inside the product, or some kind of spreadsheets, and with this raw data we could extract what we want, like, oh, I am creating some kind of e-commerce and I want to sell fish and some kind of accessories to fishing, and then the user could type this here, and the platform could first position the new business unit inside the graph and ask more questions. For example, do you have any KPI? And then the platform could start to connect the dots and to see which connections are missing. That would be, in my opinion, very nice, both for startups and for large companies, because as I see right now, the data science field is not democratic, right? We have the models, and we have the data, and we have the ETL, so it's a long process to get the stakeholders where the data is. So maybe with this kind of approach, this is just an user interface that we are showing the data in another way, but maybe with this kind of approach, and maybe using the heavy data science tools, we could accomplish good results in this type of product. But yes, I just wanted to show you guys this prototype and some of my vision for this, and maybe in the future we can improve that somehow. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. For this one, I just used React Sigma and graphology as the libraries, and I have the code here, but it's pretty simple. You can see it in the documentation, so no knowledge here, okay? Just the idea of showing this kind of data in a more interactive way, and maybe having the natural language as another way to input data into the knowledge base, into the graph, okay? Thank you. Follow this channel, subscribe to the Who Captains channel, and I'll see you later.